I'm so lost. Okay, I'm not lost. This is the intro to knowing the route that you're taking. Part of the series by Wild Journeys on planning and planning for the unexpected challenges you may find yourself in taking that summer trip. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to part one of my series. It's a 5-part series on planning for your trip and kind of preparing for the unexpected. I'm Mark, this is Wild Journeys, and episode 1 deals with knowing your route. I guess it depends on where you're from. Some of these are really basic. Some of these in hard copy form are things you're going to need. You may not think about it in the technical age that we're in, where you have an internet, you have Google Maps, but a lot of times backup hard copies are really important. And a lot of these materials will end up actually coming with me and sitting on my bookshelf because I'll have to refer to them as the trip progresses. I'm heading to Yellowstone. There's a lot of things I have to consider in terms of my safety, in terms of me not getting sleepy, where I'm going to eat, how long between a distance I'll have to get fuel, when I need to stretch my legs. At 54, I stretch my legs. Where to stop safely, setting a limit to your time on the road. That's really important. And so Google Maps is very helpful. There's a lot of things and tools in Google Maps that you can use. I like to also use good old-fashioned mathematics and a calculator, and I like to actually probably never drive more than 900 miles. In the Ram Promaster that I'm in, I do 65 miles per hour. I don't push it too hard. You get tired the longer you go. I'm going to be doing all of the driving, most likely throughout the entire trip. And so it's important to me to make sure I know when I need to stop and when I need to rest. I do that through Google Maps, but I also plan ahead. I pull maps of the parks. Here's Grand Teton. Here is Rocky Mountain National Park. These cost money. The United States, a road map. I have Yellowstone. The reason I really invest in maps and good maps is because a lot of times in some of these areas, or you may find yourself on the road in an area, it doesn't have any connectivity. You don't have an internet, and your maps can sometimes go down. If your phone breaks, for whatever reason the battery goes, you're going to need a backup to get from point A to B and C and D and so on. So I use those very heavily. Those allow me to know what the mileage is of my trips. I need to know the mileage so I can basically estimate when I need to get fuel. I need to know the mileage so I can estimate where I'd like to stop any particular night. Whether it's going to be a rest stop, whether it's going to be a Walmart, I won't really know, and a lot of the drive is based on how I'm feeling. Rest is very important. Being sleepy is as dangerous as drinking and driving, and I don't want to be in that situation. So the maps are just great. Finding fuel and the fuel tank, that'll make sense when your dummy lights come on and they say, hey, you're almost out of fuel. I like to stop with at least a quarter tank before getting into that position. And I like to keep my tank full if, in fact, I'm aware that the drive in a particular section, there are not many gas stations, which does happen throughout the country in rural destinations. So the other thing that the maps help me with, driving hazards, and in this case, this vehicle is close to 9 feet tall. Believe it or not, there are places in this country, and I experienced this and I got very lucky in the Northeast, in New York, the state of New York. There was a bridge. It was 9 feet 4 inches in that area, and I panicked. I really thought I wouldn't be able to get this in, but I was in a situation that I could not stop. That made me figure out that I needed to get different types of software on my phone where I can double check Google Maps to make sure that this thing goes under a bridge. The money and the solar, I couldn't imagine how bad that could be. I don't want to do that. So I get all those things done, and then what I do, a 3-ring binder. Somebody's throwing it out, grab it. These are really handy, and they're really helpful. And what I begin doing is labeling everything, creating a master schedule. This is all very, very important, largely because I need to be able to know where I'm going to stop, when I'm going to stop, what I'm going to be doing, who I'm going to be, sleeping with a certain night, or whether or not it's going to be in a campground. That's also great to share with people. If you don't tell people where you're going and when you should get there, that's a classic error that can get you in a lot of trouble. Nobody's going to look for you if they don't know you were expected somewhere. A lot of the information in here is populating, as the kids say. A lot of this is coming together. But what I do is break down the section. I break down the individual section of a drive. I break down the individual section of invoices, where if I've RSVP'd to a campsite, it's all in here. It's all hard copied, right down to the confirmation numbers. And so this makes it's almost foolproof. I also, in this book, will add things. If you look on this page, there's nothing here, but I plan on going through South Dakota. I'm going to visit Wounded Knee. Devil's Tower is another place that I wanted to check out. Further along in here, these are color maps that I've been able to print, and these are great backups. With a magnifier, it would help make this a little more visible, but these are good. I research the routes. I look at the maps. I consider the weather and the season that I'm traveling. It's good to know if ice is going to be expected, and I do this daily throughout the day. But it's also good to talk to people who have done this drive before. It's good to talk to local people when you get to a destination and ask them about what's going on. So anyway, that's the first part of the series. The next part of the series, it's going to be great also. It's going to be some of the essential things you need to bring with you in case you do end up in an unexpected event, whether it be an emergency situation or not, and how to pack those. So anyway, we'll see you soon. This is part 1, and this is Mark, Wild Journeys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like it, share it, and let other people know that I'm doing this series, and hopefully they'll get some value out of it.